You're watching Cheery TV.
Howdy everybody, welcome back to Cannibal Crossing Quickies, and I don't understand cars. I feel like that's just the general premise of today's episode, but there is a specific story I have in mind, but I figured we'd go on a little bit of a preamble first. I do not jive with cars. I am a very I'm anti-car. I don't think I'd work in a car. My brain does not work with cars. It doesn't understand how cars work, and I'm okay with that. I've accepted that. That's just the life I live. It's the life I choose to live, even. It's been a long and winding road there, and it all really it all stems from one big thing about me, and that is depth perception. For the main part of the reason I don't like cars, because I don't think I have great depth perception. I bump into shit all the time. If you look up a picture of the word klutz, you will maybe see me on the third page of Google, which is surprisingly high up for some random dumbass. You know, I feel like that's a little bit more than you'd expect. And just the idea of driving a car confuses me, because you have to take in mind the entire body of the car. And I can't even take in the entire body of me when I'm walking. So it's never gonna happen. It's not gonna work out. I did, however, drive a car recently. Once. It was only once, and it was in a parking lot, just doing some basic, like turning. It was my sister-in-law doing some quick little trainings with me, just giving me the ground run sort of shkabam. And I gotta say, I did surprisingly better than I thought. I think they also think I did better than they were expecting. I didn't hit anything. I parked okayly. The first time I tried to park was actually flawless. Like, I was right in the lines, I was balling, and I was trying to use the stupid little mirror things, because they have like a thing in their car where you can see behind you, but I guess you're not supposed to use that, especially if you're like trying to like learn. You're supposed to know the mirrors. I'm like, okay, that's fair, I guess, but why not? I have this. I'm gonna use the tool. Like if a caveman was given fire and then told you can't use this because you weren't made with this fire, then what's the point of the fire, But either way, the funniest part of that entire instance was when I was trying to see if the wheel was level, because like you're supposed to like you turn the wheel to turn the wheels, like turn like the tires, and I didn't know where was like the middle zone, so I would put the car in reverse, because then it shows you on the camera like how your wheels are turned, like the position they are. So I was like, okay, they're straight. I see that they're straight on the thingy, and I went back into drive, and I kept going, and they laughed their ass off at that, and that was really funny. That was good stuff. But either way, all of this just to say, me and cars, they don't mix very well. I don't know when to do things, I don't know how to do things. Granted, I've only ever driven one once, and it was pretty okay. We did an okay job. But I still don't exactly think it's for me. It scares me. But I will say that it was fun when I did it. And obviously, as some of you may know, I have driven other things, like one of those weird, like, quad bike thingy gator dudes around. And I couldn't park that to save my life. So in fact, I was actually able to park kind of okayly that day. Made me feel a little bit better about that whole situation. But even just the general, like, not even just driving a car, just being in a car confuses me. And I don't know how to get into a car. Every time I get into and out of a car, it is a completely different way to how I did it the last time. I don't understand it. I don't know why. It's just how my brain works. Like, I'll get in, how do you get into a car? Like, when I'm thinking about how I get into a car, I can't even really name it. Like, I'll come in sideways so I can sit down immediately, and then I'll use the entirety of the car as I'll run my back against the car to get out of it, sort of using it to prop myself up as I go out of the car. But then it's I always wind up with one foot in a weird position, or I wind up with I have to turn weirdly in order to get my bags that are in the car. There's a lot to it, and I don't think it's necessary, and I think it's just kind of stupid, and I'd rather just walk anywhere than use a car. I know it's a weird take, but it's just the take I have. And some cars are just made weird. Like, and no car is the same, and that confuses the hell out of me. If you're going to make something that everyone needs to be able to use and follow and everything, why wouldn't it all be at least sort of similar? You know what I mean? Like, every car is different. Freaking systems, different, like, a bunch of different, like, technical, like, abilities. But then they also have, like, different windows, different doors especially. The first time I've ever went into a Tesla was an Uber driver, and for Uber is a whole nother situation, but with an Uber driver, I was there with my sister, my twin sister, and my mom, and we were going somewhere, I don't remember, and we got where we had to go. I got out of the car, and getting into a Tesla is the weirdest thing in the world, because you had to, like, push on a spot on the lever and then pull the other end or some shit. I don't remember. It was weird. And then getting out of the car, even the inside was weird. You had to, like, hold it a certain way or, like, push it a certain way. It's been too long and I kind of forget, but it was a weird way of getting out of the car. But I get out of the car first, and then my sister follows behind me, and my mom on the other side of the car is like, I can't get it to work. I don't know how to open the door. And at this point, it's completely unlocked. I can just open the door from the outside and get her out of the car. But my brain's like, no, hold on, I gotta show my mom. It's a learning experience, I gotta show her what to do. So I'm like, Ma, roll down the window, I'll open the door for you. And she's like, what, just open the door? I'm like, yeah, roll down the window, Ma, in order to open the door. And my sister sees me being such a fucking idiot and just opens the door from the outside. And I will say, it's a learning experience, maybe. I just kind of forgot that was an option. I thought they had to open it from the inside, and I don't know why, because that's not how cars work. It was so stupid. I don't understand how I can exist in this world. It's not made for me, let me tell you. The Uber in general, and Uber and my mom, I should say, there are things that do not mix very well. Because there was another situation with an Uber. I feel like it was pretty close in terms of the timeline, where we got into a car with it was my two sisters and my mom this time. We were going to Goodwill. At least we thought we were going to Goodwill, because Uber is horrible, and Goodwill, trying to find a Goodwill is horrible, because we put Goodwill in on the map, and in Uber, and it immediately leads us to one of their donation boxes, which isn't actually a store. It's just like a little box outside of like a Wise or something, I guess like a grocery store. And we're like, well, shit, this isn't it. And then the Uber driver was being really friendly about it. Don't get me wrong, the Uber driver was fantastic. He was being super friendly, super nice. He's like, oh, well, I mean, I think the closest one is the one that's over this way, and I'll drive you over there. And he did. He drove us over that way. But before he could do that, we're all getting back into the car, because we all got out because we assumed we were in the right spot. And we were looking around like, this is wrong. And we all get back into the car. And I say all, my mom didn't get back into the car yet. And at this point, she was about to get in. The door was still open, and she was about to step foot into the car. But the Uber driver already assumed that we were all in the car. So he starts driving while my mom is trying to get into the car. And while the door is wide open, might I add, and he winds up running over her foot. And at this point, she's like, she's not like screaming for like out of pain. She's just like, get off my foot, you know, like, what are you doing? Get off of my shoe, get off of me, you know, like, what is happening? Stop. And we're trying to tell him which way to go, and my mom's screaming about like, no, don't go forward, go backward, don't go backward, you're just gonna run off foot again, go forward, go move. And eventually, we get off of her foot, and she gets in the car, and the entire time, the moment her foot winds up under this guy's tire, the dude is freaking out in the front. He looks panicked, he looks terrified. I felt so bad for this man. He didn't deserve this when he woke up that morning. He didn't deserve to have to go through this today. But he was still super nice about it, and my mom wasn't mad. She actually, to this day, considers that to be the most relaxing thing that's ever happened to her. Getting her foot run over, apparently it was like just super... It's like a pressured massage, I guess she said. It was nice, and we had a good laugh about it the entire way over. And then he did bring us to Goodwill, and it was a grand old time. But it was just very, very funny. But yeah, cars aren't meant for me. Cars aren't meant for my family. We're all very bad at it apparently, and I must get it from her. So that's a takeaway for me today. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay tuned for tomorrow where we talk about more stuff, or today when we talk about CTSDRC. Take care, everybody. Bye now.